Today is June 1st, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we round up all the activities going on with the Barnstable Recreation this weekend. We check in with the turtle keepers at Sandy Neck Beach Park, and we learn more about the new Classics Company, residents at Geyer Barn for the summer. A look at today's weather. Generally cloudy, little drizzly, temperatures in the 60s to near 70. It will be rather humid. Weekend is looking a little cool and on the breezy side in the 60s. Let's start with some news you can use. Cape Cod Commission recently launched 3D Cape Cod, an interactive web scene application featuring 3D structures on Cape Cod. Functions include sunlight and shadows based on the time of year and tree cover based on data gathered in the 2014 Planimetrics acquisition. Besides being a useful tool for getting a unique perspective on existing conditions, the Cape Cod Commission has also used this data in future redevelopment planning efforts. Cape Towns can request the models to use on their own or seek technical assistance from the Commission. You can see it for yourself. reporter.capecodcommission.org/featured-technology. Lots of activity at Craigville Beach this weekend, and tryouts for lifeguards has Barnstable Recreation full steam ahead for the summer. John and Tim joined us in studio with all the busy details. We've got Barnstable Rec in the house today. That means it's Friday. We've got a couple of updates. Big one this weekend, Best Buddies.
Yes. So, last weekend we had the Fagawi, and this weekend is Best Buddies. So Best Buddies is a bike race or fundraiser for the Best Buddies organization, and their end point is at Craigville Beach. And then across the street they have a big after party and celebration of all the accomplishments of all the fundraising they've done. But in the Craigville Beach area and surrounding town, there'll be a lot of bikers on the road, so people should be mindful of people on the road. And then anywhere in the Craigville Beach area will be busy with traffic, and so I recommend maybe to avoid those areas, early on Saturday until kind of mid-afternoon. It's a pretty long day that they're down there for.
Yeah, they bike around the town of Barnstable
Correct.
as well, so you really have to keep an eye out. There's several different roads. There's signs out there now that are flashing.
Yep, yeah, they got signs posted flashing where they're going to be. I think there's 3 different points of where they start from, depending on how far you want to bike. Mm-hmm. But they all finish at Craigville Beach. Okay. So they go throughout, Highness Port area, obviously down Craigville Beach Road, and they're in some other areas of town. But so just be mindful of, a lot of bikers on the road this coming Saturday.
Excellent. And, big weekend for you guys, too. It's lifeguard tryouts.
Absolutely. So we're still hiring lifeguards. We have one more lifeguard tryout this coming weekend. Okay. So we're trying to get as many kids as possible to come work for us this summer.
Okay, so lifeguard tryouts, what's the criteria to come in to do that?
So all they need to do is be a certified waterfront lifeguard with the Red Cross or a similar certification. Okay. And then they show up at the Senior Center at 8:30. We do a written test and CPR first aid practicals. Okay. Then we go over to the YMCA in the afternoon where they do the water portion.
Okay. How many lifeguards are you looking for still this year?
We still need about 20, so we'll have a better idea after tryouts. Right. So I'm thinking that number is going to be down about half, but we'll see where we are.
Age group for that doesn't really matter as long as they have their certifications?
So as long as they have their certification, they're over 17, they're a full lifeguard with us. Okay. If they're under 17, so 15 or 16, then they can be a lifeguard aide. And we are still hiring, I think, 2 of those. I think we have 2 more spots.
Okay.
Yeah, and if people aren't certified at the moment and are interested in becoming a lifeguard, they should contact us at the Recreation Office. It seems like the past few years we've always run an extra class just before the season to get people certified. It's a national shortage, state shortage. We're very lucky here in Barnstable that we've been doing quite well for ourselves, but we always need lifeguards, and we always, more the merrier, as they say. So if someone is interested, they like swimming or are good at swimming, or they're athletic, they could take a class with Tim and learn what they need to, and we could get them out there, this summer as a lifeguard. Yeah. So if they're thinking about it and aren't certified, they should contact us, and and definitely try to get involved because it's something that we could definitely use.
And Barnstable Recreation has fantastic lifeguards. Last year we had a young man who helped save a life on the beach of a young girl that was choking, a baby that was choking. So, I mean, you know, you have all sorts of opportunities out there. Yes, you get to spend the day at the beach, but still, you also have that opportunity to help people too.
Yeah, Tim does a great job with training our lifeguards and making sure they're prepared. But yet at the same time, we always have fun, and they enjoy their job, and that's why we see a lot of kids return year after year for us, which is a testament to Patty, and Tim, and a little bit of myself. But we take the job seriously, and it's definitely a challenging position, but we make sure that we treat all our staff with respect and make sure they have fun, and we do things on the weekends at night to kind of have that team bonding experience. So if they want to be a part of a great team, I suggest they give us a call, and we'd love to have them. Excellent.
So we're talking summer. You got a whole bunch of programs going over HYCC this year and around town. Yep. You still have some openings in some of these programs.
Absolutely. I think as of now, with the weather starting to get nice, we had a beautiful Friday, Saturday, and a couple of nice days this past week. So I think people are now really starting to think about summer. Before, when it was in the 50s and raining and cold, we weren't thinking about that. But we have plenty of summer programs still available. We have your typical swimming and tennis and gymnastics, but we have a whole slew of programs that are still available that we would like participants in.
Right.
I think the only thing that I can think of off the top of my head right now that's full is our archery program. For the first time, we're offering archery in the summertime. Typically, we offer it in the fall and spring, and are always full in that. But we decided to offer it this summer as well, and we filled up again.
It's got to be the Hunger Games.
That's since the Hunger Games movies came out, and now we've had, I think, 2 Olympics since we've started the class. That draws kids in as well. So whenever you have a sport that's in the Olympics or something like that, that seems to do well. Shortly thereafter the Olympics, so kids want to test it out. But we have plenty of activities, so there's something for everybody. We have science classes, we have nature type classes. Actually, no, I think that was the one that filled up. Junior Ranger, I think at Sandy Neck filled up as well. But we have nature type classes. We have nature classes. We have sports type classes. We have something for anybody. So if people are interested, they can give us a call at the rec, or they can find our brochure online. And we're 4 to 5 weeks away from when the programs begin, so they should start planning out what they'd like to do as soon as possible. That'd be great.
Excellent. So the weather is cooperating. Let's all just go right into summer, right?
Yeah, it seems like this is I think my 15th year on the Cape, and it seems like we go from winter to summer. And I'm sure the people that lived here their whole lives could have told me that a long time ago, but. It seems like we go right from winter right to summer with not much of a spring in the middle. Exactly. But we'll take the nice weather when we can get it.
Excellent. So tryouts are on Saturday morning?
Correct.
8:30?
Yes, ma'am.
Barnstable Senior Center. Avoid the Craigville Beach Road area on Saturday, and get your kids into those programs, because Barnstable offers something for everyone.
Yes, we do. Yes,
excellent.
We do.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
How does the turtle cross the road? With help, of course. And Nina Coleman, Sandy Neck Beach Park Manager, is on the phone with us to tell us what to do if we see turtles in the tracks. Good morning, Nina.
Good morning, Paula.
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, too. So, turtles are crossing the road. We always thought it was chickens, but this time of year it's turtles, I guess, huh?
Turtles are crossing the road this time of year. We're seeing a lot of particularly snappers, snapping turtles crossing right now. And what those guys are up to is they are going from their ponds to a nesting habitat. So those are the females. They are trying to cross our little man-made roads that are in their way, and then they're going to nest. So, unfortunately, we do see a lot of turtle strikes by vehicles this time of year. We also hear a lot of people that are trying to help them out. So, I want to take a moment and just explain how to help these guys out when you see them.
Well, that's fantastic.
Right, so the snappers are a little challenging because they're snapping turtles. If you see a smaller turtle, you can just pick them up around their shell. The most important thing is to realize that nature knows better than us. If they are crossing the road, they know which direction they want to go. So if they're crossing, you need to put them on the other side, not back where they came from. So they have to cross twice. They have to get to their nesting habitat, and then they have to get back to their pond. So the little guys, certainly, if it's safe, people can get them across. The snappers are a little more challenging. Please do not grab their tail and drag them. That does actually damage them or can potentially damage them. With the snappers, I would recommend pushing them along with a stick or something of that nature. They get very cranky. They make a lot of noise, but you can coax them across. I carry a shovel in my vehicle so I can kind of push them along, but you do need to be very cautious with those guys.
So I didn't realize that the turtles actually, the direction that they're in at that point in time in the road is the direction that you want them to continue in.
So important. I teach this to the children in our school systems all the time. You know, we think, oh, but their pond is behind them. This is not the way they want to go. No, it is. Really is the way they want to go. If you put them back, they're gonna turn around and come back across. So put them in the direction they're going on the other side in a safe spot. I do want to take a minute and talk about box turtles, which is the picture that I provided you. That guy is semi-aquatic, so more in the direction of a tortoise. And those little fellows have a very dome-shaped shell, very beautiful yellow and brown markings on that shell, and the box turtle, by its name, can shut down almost completely and protect itself through some hinges in its shell. And those guys are very sensitive to humans. We mess with their habitat a lot. They live in wooded areas. They only travel a small distance in their lifetime. They live 50 to 100 years, so our developments really affect them. They are state listed, so they're pretty rare around here, or fairly rare. But one of the problems I find with the box turtles is that people think, oh, this turtle isn't in the right place, and take them to a pond, and that's very detrimental. They need to stay within their range. So those guys, make sure you put them right across the road. They also will move this time of year to get to their nesting habitats, the females. So that picture that you see there, we crossed that one at Sandy Neck. So they're at Sandy Neck as well.
So 50 to 100 yards is their range?
They live 50 to 100 years.
50 to 100 years, okay.
Yes, I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. So they can be very old, and their range is very, very short, very small range. I don't have a stat on that, but they really just stay within their area during their lifetime.
So this is why I see that box turtle in my yard every year.
Yes, it's such a treat, such a joy. Yeah, so that's a she, and she's going to find her perfect little spot. As we know, they don't incubate, so they need to get a little sandy patch that has the right orientation to the sun so that the sun incubates those eggs. And she's going to dig a hole. She's going to lay those eggs in there and then pat the soil down. It's an amazing, beautiful thing that they can do. And then she's going to go back to her daily business back in the woods. So do enjoy that.
That's really cool. How long is this season, Nina?
Well, the season, so right now we're in, like I said, the ones that we're seeing right now, box and snapper. As the season gets warmer, we're going to run into other species, so there's some overlap. And then at the height of, like, July, you might even see, as I was saying before, diamondback terrapin in certain areas. So we have, we're in the height of the snapper, but we have another month or two that we need to keep our eye out on our roads.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I learned a lot this morning.
I do want to say, if there is one hit, which we see unfortunately a lot, you can call the Department of Natural Resources or the Animal Control Officer, or you can put it in a box, wrap it in a towel and bring it right to Cape Wildlife on 6A down by the Yarmouth Town line. So you can bring it right there, or you can call one of us, and we'll get it over there.
Thanks so much, Nina. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Have a great weekend.
You as well. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Another season of improv is upon us at Geyer Barn. We talked to Matt Kohler and Danny Price of New Classics Company, the Geyer Barn's very own resident theater group. Matt tells us how they got started, and Danny shares with us his experience performing improv.
New Classics started in 2013. For a very long time, myself and my two friends from college, Justin Gray and Brett Burkhardt, we'd always talked about starting our own theater company, and we came up with the idea. We wanted to, it was sort of a selfish thing between the three of us. We just wanted to put on a show together. We missed each other and we wanted to put on a show, so we just came up with this name, New Classics Company, and picked out a show, The Complete Works of William Shakespeare Abridged. And we set out to do that. So they came down to the Cape in August of 2013. And in 2 weeks we rehearsed and put on the show the following weekend. And then they came back 2 weeks later and we did a couple more shows. And by the end of that run, we had really fell in love with the characters we had made for that play, so we decided to write another show, and we told ourselves next summer we're going to do it all again. We're going to do another show. It became more of a realized entity that winter of 2014 when I met with Lisa Kavanaugh, who's the coordinator here at the Geyer Barn, and she was basically pitching to me using the barn as a performance space, and I immediately jumped at the idea because, like we do in improv, I usually just say yes and then we move on. So I immediately said yes, and then I thought about the repercussions of saying yes, and realized we had a lot of work to do. But moving forward, we got to that summer of 2014, and we ended up putting, in 7 weeks, we were in residence here, and we ended up putting on 3 full play productions, including that sequel to our Complete Works of Shakespeare show, which ended up being, I've Got a Bad Feeling About This, a tribute to George Lucas, which was a lot of fun. And then from there, it's kind of become, we've sort of solidified into a core group of people putting on these productions in the summertime, and then out of the summertime residency, improv sort of has spiked off from that, and now we're here all the time. After Georgie's Full Swing opened, we said, let's do an improv show. So one of the Fridays after the show got out, we had the audience, we invited them to stay, and we did an improv show. And it went really well, surprisingly. And we had a lot of fun, everyone else had a lot of fun. So then a couple weeks later, we tried another one. A couple weeks after that, we tried another improv show, and then we all kind of felt really good about it. And we were like, we should do more of that next summer. So then the next summer, the very first Friday of our residency here in the barn, we did an improv show, and then it was basically decided that, hey, we're going to do an improv show the rest of the summer every Friday. And then as we were doing that, we started picking up people who were coming to the shows and actors from other productions we were doing here in the barn and saying, hey, you should come to improv rehearsal. Hey, you would probably be good at that. And then by the end of the summer, we had this core group of people who were very into it, and then the summer ended, and everyone who had been doing improv didn't want to stop, so it just kind of took off from there. I remember Lisa and Melissa came to the show that night, and they were like, we've never seen this many people in the barn before. So that really put us in the good graces with the town. And from there, we've been doing our best to try to keep that relationship great, because they treat us very, very well, and we appreciate everything that the town has done to let us use this space and really call it our home.
Improv is just short for improvisation. You know, it's just spontaneous creativity, which can be a lot of fun when you channel it into games and exercises as a team. So it can be defined a lot of different ways, I guess. But what we do here is we essentially play games and make up scenes off the tops of our head. On Friday nights, we take audience suggestions based on prompts given from a host, and our players will step forward and play a game based off those prompts. And all the games have different rules and different formulas. Some people might recognize them from a program like Whose Line Is It Anyway? But there are a lot of games that we've made up in-house that I'm actually pretty proud of quite a few of our own original ideas that keep everything fresh and new, because that's really the challenge, is making up something over and over again, but every time making it different and exciting and funny, hopefully.
As you can see, throughout the wetlands there's a deep rumbling of a low pressure system.
I got involved through free workshops that New Classics was offering, specifically improv workshops. I came in, played a bit, and they said, hey, you should start coming to our Tuesday night rehearsals. So I did, and after some time, there was kind of just not really a gap, but a need for someone to kind of step up and start really running the rehearsals and the Friday night shows, and I just kind of fell naturally into it. Never quite knowing what's going to happen. Just that kind of anxious feeling that at first is scary, but after a while starts to become comfortable and familiar. And you go out there and you get a suggestion, you have no idea what it's going to be, and anything that you thought you were going to do or ideas you had just go out of your mind, and you just start fresh every time, every scene. So that's exciting, and challenging yourself to do something different and not fall into old patterns, but explore new ideas every time that's what I love. That's what keeps me coming back. So we have people that do a really great job of just constantly surprising you with how funny they can be and the new hats they can wear every time. So our shows are family friendly. We really strive to, and I emphasize greatly, we want to get to the heart of what makes everybody laugh. Just being constantly surprised by the humor and intelligence of people. There are some moments where you think you've seen it all and someone just blows your mind and you just laugh, and just that feeling of being able to come in here and escape from the craziness of everything else outside the barn and laugh with some really talented people. That's what's great about it.
Here's a look at the community calendar for this weekend. Don't miss the annual plant and garden sale on at Sturgis Library in Barnstable, Saturday, June 2nd from 9 to 2 p.m. They will be selling flowers, vegetable plants, shrubs, houseplants, seedlings, yard and garden accessories, garden pots, books, tools, birdhouses, and more. The sale will be held on the front lawn of the library, rain or shine. Need a cloudy day activity? Go visit the new Coast Guard Museum Space Exhibit, featuring information on 2 Coast Guard astronauts, Commander Bruce Melnick, U.S. Coast Guard retired, and Captain Dan Burbank, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Hours are 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, and the museum is located at 3353 Main Street, Barnstable. Also, be aware that Best Buddies is on the road this weekend. Please be careful and share the road. Here's a look at our meeting schedule for the month. would like to extend our congratulations to all the graduates in Barnstable this weekend. And may this quote by Mark Twain be your mantra into the future. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.